It's your Sarah here again. Once again with your story time with Sarah. This one actually just randomly popped up inside my head the other day. So this story is going to be taking us way back to 2015. I once worked at a retirement community known as Village Gates for 8 months. I met all kinds of different wonderful people. Now, one thing that's about this particular retirement community is everybody aged at least 65, 70 to inside their hundreds for some of them. Inside this particular story, it's going to revolve around a moment where Village Gates was under quarantine. So there was this, I think it was some kind of flu that was impacting the residents. And nonetheless, when it comes to retirement communities, you gotta always be usually a little bit more careful than younger residents, because as you get older, your immune system starts to get weaker in certain areas. Some people start to become more frail. And that's why, when it came to this particular strain that was impacting people, we just locked down the community entirely, whereas as long as you didn't have it, this was the type of disease where you could easily test for it. It wasn't like COVID. If you weren't diagnosed with it, or if you weren't experiencing any symptoms, the residents were allowed to come and go as they pleased. Now, my particular job in this retirement community was being a server. So that means they gave us these tuxedos, if you'll call it that. It was very, fancy. And what we do when it goes on quarantine is we'd come by each one of the residents' rooms with these carts. So we'd have these carts, right? And the carts would be filled with styrofoam lunch boxes / trays. I can't remember what they call it off the top of my head. You've probably seen them before, though. Go to each one of the rooms, knock on their door. Somebody's home, we'd give it to them. We were all wearing masks as well, by the way, even though with this particular strain, it wasn't airborne, unlike COVID. So we'd go to each one of the rooms, knock on the door, give them their lunch, breakfast, dinner. And I made it to this particular room where, when I was, wheeling my cart up to this residential area, this older woman, and she walks up, and I was in the middle of knocking on the door. She walks up, says, "Oh, this is my room. I'm sorry." And I said, "No, it's okay." And then she tries to get her keys. She starts saying to me, she tells me, "I'm trying to get my keys really quick. I'm so sorry." And she's just apologizing over and over again. I told her, "Hey, it's okay. Take your time. I'll let you get situated and everything." And there she was, still rummaging through her bag. She's consistently telling me, "I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm so sorry. I try to find my keys, whatnot." And I said, "It's all right. I'm trying to calm her down, but she keeps going on this." And she ends up managing to find her keys, and she was shaking a lot, by the way, as in nervous tremors, almost, if you'd call it that. Now, she finds her key, and she manages to get inside the room, and as she goes inside the room, she says again, "I don't know what's wrong with me today, I'm so sorry." She keeps the door open so I can see inside the back. She had a table. She sits down at the table, and she just starts crying and crying and crying. And I didn't know what the best course of action was to do. And the other woman that was working with me, she was, I think, one of the support managers, if you'll call it that, some kind of management role with the community. She goes in there and she starts talking to her. And this old woman, it turns out that her husband had died recently. So he's saying that she missed her husband, and she wanted him to come back, and the manager, I think what she was saying was something along the lines of, it's okay, someday you'll see him again, he just wants you to live your longest life and whatnot. Now it's just standing outside inside the hallway still, hearing all this. And it's a situation where things happen, and honestly, I really wish that there was a way that for people to accept the present a lot easier than it is a really big situation where I just wanted to tell her, hey, it's going to be okay. Just accept the present for what it is, because you only got one of these lives, right? As far as we know. And the best you can do in so many situations like this where you really can't control what happened is just to accept it. Just have this overwhelming feeling of acceptance for whatever comes your way. You know, there's a lot of thankfully inside this particular retirement community, a lot of the residences seemed like they were very healthy in mind, which wasn't the case with a retirement home, I think is what they call it, or retirement hospital, one of those two things. That is pretty much right down the road from this retirement community. And I think it's called Sheridan Woods. It's extremely distressing being around that place. I remember I volunteered there once and I never went back there again, because a lot of times what can happen to people at older ages is they experience a lot of mental issues, things like Alzheimer's, dementia. There's a lot of people and I think that's where people send them. And it's just really sad thing to look at when people literally lose their sense of reality almost. But thankfully, not all retirement communities are like that. Specifically, the one that I worked in, Village Gates, was really, most of the individuals there were healthy, although there was one case, and I'm sure there were several cases where, as time goes on, things only unfortunately get worse for some individuals. One woman where, say, 3-4 years ago, she was talking, walking, she's really, really sweet, and now she had, stroke, can't walk, can't talk. Horrible stuff that can happen to people, especially around those ages. And then there's also some, I don't know if I should call them outliers, because there's actually quite a few people that are also like this. There's this big round table inside the center of the cafeteria, and there's actually round tables everywhere. That's essentially how the cafeteria is set up. There's one table though, it's like towards the center, and everybody called it the Marine table. And there's one of these older gentlemen, they were all Korean War veterans. One of these older gentlemen, I think he was like somewhere like at the time like 98, 99. But if you were to look at him, you would not think that he was 98 or 99. He had full head of hair. His skin was obviously a little bit wrinkled, and his hair was gray, but he did not look 99, 98, can't remember exact, but it was an age that you wouldn't have assumed would if you were to first look at him. He's a really friendly person. Actually, everybody there was really friendly with each other. I think that there's a comparison that somebody made a while ago, fairly accurate comparison, that retirement is like going back to college, except you don't have as many responsibilities, so to speak. And yeah, another fun fact about this particular retirement community is usually what you think of when you think of retirement, or individuals of older calibers. Diets, maybe like vegetables, something clearly and obviously healthy. No, that's actually not how they eat. A lot of them eat like 6-year-olds. Ice cream, turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, whatever you can name it. Chances are some of these people probably eat it. And it's, very unique places are like that. Another fun fact, that Marine table, I actually ended up coming back to visit them. And that older gentleman who was a former Marine, one of the things that he said, and this was like shortly before I was going to get shipped out to boot camp, this is pretty much my last day on the job. He tells me, I don't know if the Marine Corps would be best for you. He just kept shaking his head. And looking back, I start to understand why he said that at that moment. Another fun fact though, when I graduated boot camp, I came back to that retirement community one more time, and I had actually lunch with that table, and they were all very proud of me, and it was a good moment, I think. And then I never came back there again though. I got finished MCT, MOS school, and went on to the fleet, and I haven't been to Connecticut really at all since then. What are some of the things that you have been through? What's some jobs that you might have had? Feel free to comment below. And if you have any other stories, anything that piques your interest, it could be just about anything. Feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. To all of my current subscribers, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm very happy to see you again. I am looking for your viewership into the future as well. And I appreciate taking your time. I enjoy your company with me. And I plan on making some more videos in the future. You are all great, wonderful people. Have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or evening.